I've been, I can't tell you how excited I am about so many things that have happened. And I want to bring up some stuff to you. So, in our podcast today, as the title is, we'll be looking at cryptocurrency and just looking at things that have happened. Now, if you follow me on my other channel, okay, Money Mikes, that's my channel, okay, I've just put up a session, okay, about NFTs, okay, and I'll be touching on NFTs, but today I really want to break down things about assets and asset classes, especially in the crypto space. Now, I'm going to be heavily crypto for the foreseeable future. Now, we'll be talking about other assets and other opportunities, but right now, it's very rare. It happens only every 30 to 50 years where a new cycle or a new addition to human life gets added. And what do I mean by that? The last one we had was the internet or Web 2.0. And now Web 1.0 and 2.0. Now we've got to Web 3.0 and blockchain technology. And where we are right now, we're in a revolution. And we're at the beginning of it. Now, it really took off for those of you who've been around crypto for a while. It really took off in 2017, but it's been around for a while. It was Bitcoin for a long time and a few other projects, but really now is where we're really going to see some crazy growth. And right now, the hot topic is NFTs. So I'll be talking about NFTs in one aspect, but I'm going to rather talk about digital assets and what you can do today to start making some movements. All right. So first things first, I wanted to shout this out again. So shout out to Cointelegraph, number one, and also shout out to, well, I'm coming to love them even more, CoinDesk. All right. Now I've talked about this piece of news so many different times, and I'm bringing up another piece of news on the same artist. Now, kicking off with NFTs. If you haven't heard of what NFTs are, they stand for non-fungible tokens, which are in the crypto space, digital non-fungible tokens or digital tokens which have rare value or have rarity to them because they have a limited supply. Usually there's only one of them, okay? And they're not interchangeable with other things, okay? Now, I will go through some recaps, okay? And as I said again, if you haven't watched the video, it's called The Ultimate Guide to NFTs. It's on the channel Money Mikes. Go and check that out. But I want to shift over to see what we can do with this Wealthy Show, our podcast. I just want to be able to share, and for the guys to share on things that we can do to actually get currency and money into your pocket. So let's have a look at this. All right. So this is only 3 days ago, and this is by Jamie Crowley from the CoinDesk. Now, a non-fungible token linked artwork by an artist Beeple. Now, if you don't know who Beeple is just yet, I'm sure you must have seen something. If you haven't, Beeple is an amazing artist. Okay, he's a digital artist. He works for people like Louis Vuitton, Nike, different things like that, and he creates digital artwork. Now, during this period of time, he's very the most famous thing he's known for right now is a very amazing piece that sold for 69 million, 69.7 million, um, up for auction on Christie's, and it's a 5,000 piece collage of every single day since Bitcoin started for 13 years, in other words. And every single day he made a picture and he put that out to, somebody to sell. It was up for auction and he got 69 point. Well, it was sold for that anyway. I don't know how much he actually got. All right. But what we've had now in the NFT space is what I call historic movements. And the reason why I say it's historic, um, primarily is because we have a situation where right now, if I was to look back at crypto last year, 2020, it was all about DeFi. And I'm not saying that DeFi has gone anywhere. Okay. DeFi hasn't gone anywhere whatsoever. But now we're in a stage where we have NFTs. Now with NFTs, I think why it's so amazing is because there is so many different open doors that is given to many people who were before unable to get the full benefits of their gift. For example, people who are in the aspect of creatives, musicians, things like that. You know, with cryptocurrency, one of the most amazing things, as I always say, is that when I speak to people, and I think it's good for you to do the same if you're in the crypto space already. But if you speak to people who are in the crypto space, a lot of the times you find that or the people that are outside or looking on the outside say stuff like, it's just a scam. It's just a way for, drug lords to to move money around. And I'm sure they do that. I'm sure the cartels do what they do, but or it's a rebellion away from normality and centralized systems. But in reality, the problem is the centralized systems, because there are many different aspects of this cryptocurrency space which allow for human life to continue in a fruitful way. Okay, now NFTs is a very big part of it. Now, if you want to think of NFTs before I continue, you can think of them as digital antiques. Okay, now because it's on blockchain and the features that blockchain has, like immutability, it has it's very you can't modify or change or delete data, things like that, unless you remove the blockchain. A lot of the physical artwork we have, sometimes up till today, some people actually don't know if it's a real or a fake, because there was no infrastructure or technology to be able to deal with these kinds of things. So NFTs on the digital side of thing has really come to replace, and I wouldn't say replace, but come to, at the moment, is an emerging industry to come alongside the physical industry of NFTs, antiques and collectibles. Okay. Now, because it's on blockchain, you know who owns it, you know who the creator is. Nobody can make a copy of it because the blockchain is public, so everybody knows who owns it. And some other things as well, okay, which make the features of NFTs absolutely amazing. And I will come back to it, but I just wanted to show you this news article, okay? Now, if you want some good news articles, okay, right now in the crypto space is very noisy. I'll say one place is CoinDesk and another is Cointelegraph. Another third one that I really do like as well, and I believe you can subscribe to their newsletter, it is Decrypt.io. They're another one too, which is fantastic. Now I'm going to switch back to my MetaTrader chart soon, and I'm going to lay out for you in the most simple terms things you can do right now today for you to start making money in this NFT and crypto space. Okay, so bear with me. So let's look at this. So non-fungible tokens, or NFT linked artwork by digital artist Beeple, purchased for less than $1,000 in 2020, is now worth 300,000. And I would say in this NFT space, when things pop off, they really do pop off. And I like it because whenever there's these shakings in the news where the crypto, kind of this hidden universe of so-called nerds, okay, comes into the main space, and now mainstream media is picking up things that are going on, it really does help to bring more awareness to crypto. And some people think it's a bad thing because they don't want, they want to keep it quiet. But to be honest, the more people come into the crypto space, the higher the amount of money that's circulating within this industry will continue to grow. And we're only at the beginning stages. So if you want to get into crypto, now is the time. Every day that you don't get into cryptocurrency, you're missing out on opportunity. So don't waste any time. So this NFT was purchased for 969 by Edward Fairchild, co-founder of Los Angeles-based cannabis cultivator THC Design. Now, Fairchild had no idea. Somebody say something. Yeah, fantastic. We have another recommendation for Crypto Panic site. I like that. All right. I think right now what's important for me as a currency trader, and any of you who are currency traders or traders of any industry where technical analysis is the main thing you use, is very important to understand, because the crypto space is still very relatively young to everything else. What's really driving the price is not really technicals analysis. Technical analysis right now is just more of a confirmation of things. Okay. In the future, as things stabilize 10, 20 years from now, technicals will be, how you can be able to read the price and kind of read things before they happen. At the moment, we have a lot of price discovery taking place, a lot of new all-time highs where the price hasn't reached there before. And so the way we approach the price, technically, we couldn't use the same tools that we'd use on a normal day-to-day basis. Okay. So I would definitely say, make sure when you're looking at crypto, if you want to get in, to get yourself away from FOMO and to get you away from just looking at the price and you can see massive spikes of 1,000x, make sure you have some solid news and understand what's going on. Now I'll be doing many more videos, okay, across our channels. We'll be doing a lot more, sharing a lot more things. I'll be doing breakdowns on how to read, write white papers and understand when to get in and when to get out. Yeah, Crypto Panic is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So moving forward, Fairchild said he had no idea what the NFT was, or what he bought. It was the Infected Culture by Beeple in December 2020. Now, despite being a fan of the digital artist, he said in an article, for the Business Insider on that Saturday, he wasn't aware of this nice piece of art. And then when the NFT boom happened, another copy of the same work went for um $288,000. Okay. Now he's listed his own copy on Nifty Gateway. Now Nifty Gateway, for this NFT market, there's an NFT marketplace, or many NFT marketplaces now. Again, in the other video, the ultimate guide to NFTs, I believe it's a part one because there's so much I can say, and every time I think about it, just gets me excited. But in Nifty Gateway is one marketplace you can go to. We have OpenSea, which is another one, and there's a special one because you can actually create NFTs on there. You can actually become a designer. And then you have my personal favorite, which is Rarible. Okay, because Rarible is aiming to be a decentralized autonomous organization, and it being a DAO has so many amazing benefits that I don't have enough time to share in this video. Okay, but it is in the other video, so you can have some time to check that out. So now Beeple, okay, in this latest craze, he has this work of art that I was talking about, every day's the first 5,000 days, selling on 11th of March for 69.3. I said 69.7, but 3, which is the largest sale known for so far for an NFT, and is the third largest, by the way, third largest sale of an artwork by Christie's, because Christie's did the sale of a living artist. Okay, so you can imagine now when you marry a new space like NFTs or digital NFTs with groundbreaking news, it means exposure and it means more money. So this is price positive for us because right now we need to really look at the fundamentals in order for us to look at where we're gonna get our you know our price and our entries from to get some good return on investment. All right. Now, this is his comment. In the future, more and more people are going to be spending their time in virtual reality, and NFTs have infinite potential, which I agree with, to when it comes to ownership of digital assets. And when you look at trends of what we have going on, one of the biggest trends that we've seen increasing more and more is AI technology. I mean, we're getting very much into a digital age right now, and a lot of things that couldn't be digitalized before, or the concept wasn't married with the technology for it, now we have the two together. And whenever we have something like this, we have revolution. And yes, of course, there can be negative things that go along with it, but in the general population, the health of humankind, we have something fantastic for the first time. For example, with NFTs using blockchain. All right, now if you're not too familiar with ERC standards or what they are, so a lot of NFTs are on the Ethereum blockchain. Okay, and NFTs really did start from there. Now there are a few standards. There's the ERC 115 1155, excuse me, standard, and then we have the ERC 721, which is the standard which makes NFTs possible. And then we have and this is my favorite, ERC 998, which is where you can group them together. So this is helpful for when you want to put your NFTs together in a sort of grouping. All right. And then ERC 1155, as I said earlier, is you have the ERC 20, which is the normal tokens we have like cryptocurrency, and then you have that together with the ERC 721. All right, so you have these amazing combinations on the Ethereum network, and there's other blockchains as well, which have their own token standards that are trying to do things like that. All right, so NFTs right now is a fantastic way, to be able to create value, okay, and also bring value in. Like for me, one of the most fantastic things with NFTs, and as I'm talking, I'm going to switch over to talking about the what we have going along for here. So I'm opening up coin market cap, and then I'm going to share my assets, and I'm going to give you 5 points, and I'll be out of your way. So as I'm talking now, and this is loading up, one of the greatest things with NFTs is the concept of being able to use it as a way to create membership. So for me, in the future of what I want to do, I definitely want to use NFTs myself personally. Now, one of these days, I'm going to create an NFT. I'm going to be sharing it out. Okay. So be looking out. Okay, the newsletter and everything for what to do and how to get there, or probably be in a video. Who knows? But we're gonna do some NFT stuff here because I think in the past when it comes to NFTs, it's been very difficult to be able to get the opportunity for people to have your followers, your subscribers, people who believe in you, people who are walking with you, who support you, to have the opportunity to, if I can put it in words, to have more of a tangible support with you, or a tangible form of value to say that they support you. So currently what we have here with NFTs, and I can give you an example of the use case. I'm loading up the NFT channel, by the way, but one of the use cases you can have with NFTs is, let's say, you know what, I am a YouTuber right now, and I have, I don't know, the Michael coin or the Money Mike's coin, and there's 100 of those NFTs that are ever going to exist in the world. Now, if you're a holder of those NFTs, it gives you membership access to be able to make decisions. So it acts as a governance token, because you can make decision as to whether, you know, what goes on, what content comes out, how the direction of my channel will go forward, okay, or how the direction of other channels will go forward, within the Wolf Group Academy, for example. And also they can be invited to special access to meetings, okay. They can get airdrops, they can have certain equity. There's a whole load of things that NFTs can do. And once you see that, you can see that NFTs also can be traded, because if they have an ERC20 standard on them, it means that they can exist on the Ethereum blockchain and can be transferred to each other, and the value can be exchanged, and it could be a marketplace. I mean, it's endless what can happen, okay? Absolutely endless what can happen. So when I tell you guys that NFTs is a fantastic place to be, trust me on it. All right. So I'm going to share with you, I'm not going to go too heavy. I'm just going to share you some of my top picks that I'm looking at right now. All right. Now, my bandwidth may be low, so excuse me if it cracks a bit. All right. We've been having some really bad, for those of you watching from wherever you are, we've had some really bad weather in the UK, especially where I'm from. So it makes the signal a bit shaky. Okay, but I do apologize. All right. So here, if you ever want to look at NFTs, all right. So when you look at this NFT area right here, we're not looking at these NFT companies, or these um, blockchain, or these companies that work with blockchains or have their own chain. Okay, they all have some sort of NFT um, activation on there, or they deal with NFTs within their field. Now, one of the ones I want to discuss right now is one of my favorite right now, which is Decentraland. Okay, so talking along this line of VR and gaming and things like that is Decentraland. Now I'm going to look at the price action and just show you what's happened so far, and then I'm going to talk to you about the news that's surrounding what we have going along. Okay, in the future. Now, I will do some technical analysis on some of these charts to look at potential entries, and just a strategy that I believe is very simple that we can use. All right. So when we look at what we have here with Decentraland, okay, let this load up. I'm going to start back from where we are here. All right. So every time I look at this, it just makes me want to punch myself. But if we start from here, so November 2017, okay, the price of Decentraland was just over a cent, so 1 cent, okay, 2017. All right, and the daily volume was about 315,000. Now moving forward, now I'll pull up the logarithmic chart in a moment, but you can see right here, and this is something I want to say, and I'm going to keep on saying that right now, if you're getting into crypto, it's a long game. It's not a short game. Now, there are cryptos you can make 70 to 80% a day trading, okay? And in the future, we'll be opening up many resources for you guys to be able to have something like that, to know how to trade in that way. Now, for now, you can see that there is at least a 3-year long, if I go across here, for the last 3 years at least, coming into 2021, the price has been relatively stable. Now, it has seen a 7x gain, and of course, in 2008, this spike here, which was the FOMO spike, as I call it, the price got to up to $23, 23 cents, excuse me. Okay, now we see the price was relatively quiet. When we got to January, we were just hitting over 10 cents. Okay, at 11 cents or 11.8 cents. So what happened now in this massive boom here, and this is what we wait for, these moments where there's an explosion, because you do make a lot of profit. But with these massive explosions, now for those of you who are technical traders, one thing we can say is that based on trader psychology, okay, pulling away just the technical side, if there's a massive spike of this nature, okay, there are going to be many people, that are wanting to sell because they've made a massive gain, especially people holding from, I mean, depending on what their plan is, but there'll be many people who will be holding from back it. Then some people who wake up in their wallet and realize, wait, why have I got £1,000 or $1,000 in my wallet? And they realize, oh, I bought this coin that I thought was a joke or just a whim to go on, and it actually worked out. Now, at this high right here, okay, this is the high of 25 cents. Now you have to understand that the crypto market, okay, I like to talk from both sides because I think it gives a healthy perspective. Now the crypto market is about if this is 1.7 trillion for the entire market, I think it has seen a massive increase, but the crypto market is at least about 20 times smaller than the currencies market, which is the largest market for in terms of daily volume. Now the daily volume, if I go right here, of the right here. And there are some factors because there are a lot of people staking. So those coins are not actually in circulation. So the volume will be lower. But you can see the 24-hour volume on estimate at the top here for cryptocurrency is at 132 billion, right? Whereas currency trading Forex is 6 trillion or at sometimes even a bit more, 6.1. So if we do the maths on that, I'll grab my calculator. I think you guys will be seeing the Money Max calculator a lot, but we've got to calculate that profit. But if I do this, so 61 trillion times 10 to the 12, and if we divide that by 132,979,084,084,764. All right. So right now, if we're going by the volume, we have the Forex market at its highest, volume is 400 and, don't know if you can see this. See if you can see this. All right. This is a very long number. So we're looking at around 456 times the amount of volume in the Forex market compared to the crypto market. All right. All right. No worries. I'll send out the link. No worries. I'll send that out. So 456. Okay. We have 456 times more. All right. So the volume is very, very low, compared to what we have at the moment. So for that reason, I would say that it's important to, I think it's probably 45. Sorry, I need to divide by 10. I did the maths wrong there. So 45.8. So we have a 45 times, 45 times more daily volume than we have in the currencies market. So why do I say this? So a lot of how retail activity or retail trader activity goes on in this market will really affect the price a lot more than in the Forex market. Retail traders have no bearing on the price whatsoever. And that is a mature market. Currencies have been around for the longest time. Okay. I couldn't give you dates on that, but it's definitely been here before all of us were here. But with crypto, we've actually watched crypto evolve whilst we're still young, or whatever age. Or for me, whilst I was still young, I speak for myself. No shade at all to anyone. I'm just saying for me. So any of you watching now, no offense. All right. So the 25-cent range or 23 cents, what we have here, January 7th. Okay. One of the things that we have to observe that if we look at the price now, I'm not doing a deep technical analysis, but if I just show you what I mean to say, you can see that right here, when the price peaked above the 23 cent, there's going to be a lot of people who FOMOed into the movement, okay, or bought in at the highest point and were holding and hoping that the price, now some of them might have sold out and just given up. Others may have been holding and waiting for the price to put them back at break even again. Okay, especially during that time of 2017, 2018, there was a lot of reckless buying. A lot of people made um, very damaging sacrifices to get into crypto that didn't pay off, whereas some did and got lucky. But we see here, as soon as the price got above here, you can see here we form a little double top, which is a normal retail trader pattern. Okay, that resistance, if you want to call it that, and the price sold off and dropped back down beneath the all-time high. Okay, it dropped down to the all-time high. level with it. And after the price dropped to that all-time high, this pattern is something I want you to remember. Whenever the price takes a a long-standing all-time high. Now, if you want to find great cryptos that have good projects and are, have a good future for evolution and growth, and them usually following in the pattern. Now, if you're taking notes, if you're looking into the industries of, health advancement, AI, computer technology, cloud-based technology, okay, those kind of cryptocurrencies, if they haven't taken their all-time high and they have the FOMO spike from 2018, now not every coin has that. Okay, so be aware that not every coin has that, you know, 2018 spike, but it's a very good marker. Once the price breaks above there and returns, it creates a parabolic move. Now, if you've been following me, I talked about this with gold. Gold is in the same category, okay, but of course the fundamentals are different, but the concept is the same. So if you look at the technical analysis from a psychological point of view for a moment, once the price got to this round number here, which is 30 cents, okay, everybody at this point in history is in profit. Okay, so the people who kind of bought at the high potentially will be closing out to take either break even or take some profit. Once the price breaks back to that all-time high, you can see that's where the launch happened. And you can see if I pull up the 7-day time frame, or maybe I might need a 1 month, possibly might be better. If I pull up the 1 month here, so you can see once the price, oh, you need 3 months actually. Okay, so a bit lower, but if we drop a bit lower here, once the price broke above and rested on that all-time high, now this is 52 cents. This is when the price already started to take off, so I might have to go back to the all because we're not going to get the complete price that we want. Okay, it's not loading up, but it's cool. It will load up in a minute. But what do we have going on here? All right, so it's not loading, I guess. But either way, if you saw what we had here, so that's what that's the price action we had going forward, for that time period. So I'm expecting to see more of those kind of movements. When this decides to load up, it will do. But that's not the main thing. So why am I into Mana? Okay, so Mana, which is the ticker name, or Decentraland, really is taking hold of this NFT space. Now, they've been in NFT, the concept of NFT for a long time. Okay, and their concept is more based around, having virtual real estate. So I want us to go to a website and have a look, okay? And I'm just going to share, my thoughts on Decentraland, okay? And then some others too. All right. Again, as I said, I apologize. Right now, the bandwidth is a bit slow, so sometimes it might be a bit of freezing. Okay, but let's go through this and have a look. All right, so welcome to Decentraland, everybody. All right. So as this is loading up, we're just going to have a look at a few things. Now, I would really suggest, okay, this is a very common thing to say, but I really suggest any project you're going to invest your money in, do invest some due diligence and some time into looking into the project, understanding how they are. Now, for me, I've been reading about Decentraland for a bit. I kind of came off of it because I was looking at other things, as you do. But I've got Decentraland in my, you know, my my vision to see what's going to happen. So let's pull this up here. All right. So let me get this for you. So before I go any further, okay, if you can see the screen here, all right. Let me put this on the other side. So if we look at what we have going along here, we have the marketplace and we have the builder. So one of the things that's powerful about Decentraland, and I'll say is price positive before I do any technical analysis, which I will do in a moment. Decentraland, is the first ever visual world owner owned by its users. Okay, this is the key here. So in the gaming aspect of things, and I think gaming is one of the biggest things where NFTs applies. Um, when you look at games, all right, usually you have projects and you have, different things that, let me close this for a moment. You have different things that you find in games. A lot of the stuff that make a game is not actually even the gameplay. It's the stuff that you get, is the goodies you win, or the things you buy, those cool custom things that make the game what it is. Okay. So when we look at what we have going forward here with Decentraland, one of the most powerful things that they have is they have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. So if I click on get started here, all right, you can see that we have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. So if I click on get started here, all right, you can see that we have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. So if I click on get started here, all right, you can see that we have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. So if I click on get started here, all right, you can see that we have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. So if I click on get started here, all right, you can see that we have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. So if I click on get started here, all right, you can see that we have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. So if I click on get started here, all right, you can see that we have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. So if I click on get started here, all right, you can see that we have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. So if I click on get started here, all right, you can see that we have a builder. So now you can actually create your own lands. Okay. let's get started and let this load up. All right. Now it's a game that you can actually play. All right. It is a decentralized autonomous organization. All right. And it's just absolutely fantastic. So let's let this load up. It's taking a bit of time to load. Okay. Now again, I said forgive the bandwidth, guys, but we should have it on there soon. All right. So Decentraland, okay, you can own land, okay, you can create your own land, you can create experiences in those land, and it's all virtual, and you can have true ownership, which is blockchain certified. Okay, so that piece of land becomes an NFT. Okay, it is an NFT, and you can actually purchase that land and own it, and hence the name Decentraland. I think is a powerful concept. All right, you can use VR to play these games. uh Habbo. All right. Yeah. You know what? Right now, one of the things that's a, I'm gonna check it out for sure, Sam. I'm gonna check it out. So, with Decentraland, I think one of the most powerful things, and I'm gonna go through now. On Decentraland, you can actually see where who owns land, and the concept here is you can build your own land, but what has to happen? You have to purchase the digital real estate, and you have to purchase it in the native coin, excuse me, which is the mana token. Okay. Now, right here it tells you all of the things you need. So what do you need to play? Now you do need to, in order for you to play, you need to, at the moment is not supported on mobile. Now here's something that's very key you can use as a price point. The moment that they announce that they have this gameplay available for mobile devices, that's going to be price positive. That should spike the price. Okay, so as I'm throwing out keys to you here, one of the things you want to keep in line with is the fundamentals, and also not just fundamentals, because fundamental news is great. Like for example, they could say tomorrow that they've just had a partnership with some sort of company that does, I don't know, AI devices. But if the one of the things you have to keep in mind is that their white paper is kind of like the equilibrium. If they, I mean, if they're veering off for good reasons, but if they have, especially if they've put a timeline or they have a goal, like for example, Cardano is a fantastic project which has 5 stages to its project, okay, and each project has specific things they're trying to fulfill, which is basically the everything about it. Those 5 stages, the epitome of their white paper. So if they're not fulfilling goals, or they're very delayed on releasing stuff, then sometimes when they're delayed, it might, of course, keeps the price in a range. Doesn't mean the price will decline, but keeps the price in a range. But these are the things that you want to look out for. So as I said, next in this session, or the next, most likely the next, we'll be going through white papers and how to read those, and what things to look for, because they can get very lengthy, but there's only a few things you want to look for to give you the core, information you need. Now, can you play on multiple computers? Yes, you can. Can you use different browsers? Technically, it's possible. Okay. Now, what is a wallet? Now, in order for you to enjoy the full experience, you need a digital wallet. Now, digital wallets work as your personal account. Now, this is why it's powerful, because when you sign up with them, I believe that this is because it's decentralized. Okay, we don't need any KYC. Okay, so you're known by your wallet address and not by your name. And this is important, as I always keep talking about. One of the most powerful things that cryptocurrency is removing away is the fact that centralized organizations need to have the right, know everything about you that they don't need to know. Now, like I always say, things like, cold calls, the reason for cold calls, for, certain ways that we receive, things like cookies and stuff, they all come from the fact that this KYC, central companies or a few large companies monopolize data and take advantage of it to make more and more money. A lot of our data is sold to third parties now. Like things like this game. If you've ever played a game before, guys, on your phone, you download it, it says it's a free game. It has all of these terms and conditions, and it has the accept terms and conditions, and we just click it. We don't bother to read it because it's like at least 8 pages long. Okay, but within those clauses, it's always set in a way where they can actually, you're actually agreeing for your data to be shared. Okay, and when your data is shared, that's when you get cold calls, you get crazy emails from strange websites, asking you if you want to go on a date at 12 o'clock in the night. Strange things. Okay, it comes from that. Okay, now with decentralization and with Decentraland, you connect through your wallet. So MetaMask wallet, you need a, I guess for this one, because it's an ERC20 token, the Mana token is, in order for you to experience the game, you need something like maybe MetaMask or an Ethereum based wallet. Okay. So now with this Mana token, you can get access to, create digital work. Okay. You can sell digital assets. There's a marketplace for it. Now, in terms of price positivity, one of the reasons why I'm bullish on Decentraland and you should have it on your radar is for this reason, because any company or any, you know, community and company where first of all they have something which is a decentralized organization or autonomous organization. So in other words, code is law. So in the sense that you don't have to trust either party, buyer or seller. In the current system we have, the reason why we have intermediaries is for that reason, because we need to get the trust aspect of a transaction. With decentralization, with blockchain technology, because the code, as long as the code is good and the smart contract executing the code is not faulty, then either side of the parties don't have to trust each other. So in other words, we're in a trustless society where the code, if in order for one aspect, now for me, I love coding at the moment. I'm writing code as much as I can and wanting to get myself deeply into creating smart contracts and learning solidarity and things like that, the language and other things too. But for me, in my coding studies, one of the most important things is this if statements. Now, with this situation of code is law, with a smart contract, it will probably be a lot of if statements which said if person A does this, then do action B. And if person or else, which is a if else statement as we call it, else if person A does not do this thing, then don't do action B. Very simple. So there's these ifs and else statements which govern how people do different activities. And it's so powerful that in a situation like this with a game is decentralized. Okay. So what that means is also with having a decentralized autonomous organization is that when you hold these mana tokens, you actually have the right, kind of similar to what I was saying earlier on, but you do have the right to actually, let's say, if you want to share your opinion, you have possibly voting rights to say, what you believe should be added to the game, what should be removed, or if there's something wrong. You have that aspect of what we call governance, but it's community governance, which we've never had before. Usually, the governance is usually a body of people, centralized, who are in hands have hands in every industry, very deep pockets that control everything. But now decentralization has opened the door for people to actually have what they want. Okay. And I believe it produces more growth, whether you're an influencer, whether you're a YouTuber, or whatever you do. If you have some sort of governance where the people who are actually receiving your value, can tell you how best they want the value, why not? But centralized institutions, a lot of them don't like that for many reasons, which are beyond the scope of this video. So when you get into this, you have this powerful token called the Mana token, which gives you the opportunity to do so. So as we can see here, so Mana is a decentralized, now it's a fungible token. So it's used, it can be a currency. So the difference between the Mana token, any coin that's an ERC20 coin is in the standard of what we call currency for exchange, for fungible changeability. So I can send you 1000 Mana and you can send me 800, and I can send you, I don't know, 200 back for you to have 1,000, and you can send it like for like. There's no difference. Okay. Now, mana is burned. Okay, so the supply is reduced or is spent in an exchange for land parcels. Now, this is important. Mana being burned, one of the things I like about this, any cryptocurrency that has any attempt of the coin to be burned means that there's going to be a decrease in circulating supply. Whenever there's a decrease in circulating supply, that's very price positive, because the price should, in theory, increase. Because if there's more demand and there's a less circulating supply in existence, that's fantastic. You know, I think for most people, when it comes to Bitcoin, I do sometimes, speaking to people, they do believe Bitcoin is expensive because, a lot of people have bought it, but it's not really completely true. Really, what makes Bitcoin is because of the supply. There's only 21, or there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, and as the demand increases, so they're right on that aspect, that limited supply causes the price to be, continue to grow astronomically. So any cryptocurrency that attempts to have this kind of what we call tokenomics is fantastic. So that's another reason why I like Decentraland itself. So you can use this mana coin and it can be spent and exchanged for land parcels. Now, what are land parcels? Now, I tried to buy some land not too long ago, and all of them all went. Now Atari, which is very big on this digital side, has bought. I'll show you the picture of what the land looks like. I think I could log into my Decentraland account from here. If not, I will do it next lesson. But Atari has a massive piece of land all over the digital space. So the land is a non-fungible digital asset maintained in an Ethereum smart contract. Now, land is divided into pieces that are referenced using a unique, now this is a Cartesian coordinate, so just X and Y, so 2D. Okay, and each land token includes a record of its coordinates, the owner, and reference to the content description file or parcel manifest that describes and encodes the content the owner wishes to serve his on his or her land. So this is where things get beautiful. So one of the reasons why I see this coin really taking off and probably getting to $10, and I'll do the tokenomics in a moment, at least $10 by the end of this year, if not $20, is for this one reason here. So not only do we have this decrease in circulating supply, but also we have this longevity from the aspect where people can actually create their own experiences, which opens the door for there to be, multiple projects on top of this already lovely project for people to create their own experiences, for them to monetize, create their own NFTs. Now, the more NFTs are created, okay, because they're non-fungible. Now, if they were fungible tokens, it would just be inflationary, because it means if everybody can exchange the tokens with each other and we continue to make them, then we've just turned into the Federal Reserve. No disrespect to them, but they're just, every central bank, all they do is print out more money, which devalues the currency. But because you can create NFTs now, you actually can create value, which over time, okay, can be more valuable. Now, why is NFT such a powerful and important point now? If we think about this, with these NFTs, because there's a record of who owns it, where it is on the Cartesian coordinates, okay, who's the owner, the reference, and etc. Because it's on the Ethereum blockchain, you can actually sell this land outside of the game. Now, there is an in-game marketplace, but you're not contained within this in-game marketplace. You can actually transact NFTs across the Ethereum network. So somebody who's not even a part of the game can actually own, you know, a piece of land if you send it to them and it becomes theirs. Now, what we have at the moment with most games, like for me, I'm a Call of Duty fan. If you play Call of Duty and you get a special sniper that has some special ability, the sniper belongs to, the people in the game. Okay. Samuel says nice. Yeah, for real. So the for example, if you have a sniper, that if it was an NFT within this game, let's say, I could take my sniper from. Now, one of the other assets that does this now, I think Decentraland is going for the same thing. But one thing I do know for sure, Engine Coin, which is another one of my top picks. And in my other video, I'll talk about Engine Coin in more detail, and I'll be doing more breakdowns on it. With Engine Coin, the coin itself mints the NFT to become a real life asset. Okay. And because of that, it gives a stamp of approval, and you can transact it between different blockchains. So I'm not blockchain, excuse me, between different marketplaces. Let me correct myself, not blockchains. It's still an ERC20 token, but you can transact it between different places. So you can take, with Engine Coin, what they've managed to do is that you can take, let's say, I don't know, a magical sword that belongs to one game and take it and put it into another game. If the right infrastructure is there, that's what they've said on their website that they're doing, which is out of this world. So imagine, I don't know, if you had Call of Duty had a sniper, and you could take that sniper and put into Tekken, some decentralized version of Tekken, and you could, I don't know, or you can get Yoshimitsu's sword, take it over to Call of Duty, and you can use it to, kill your enemies. But the reason why he's doing that is because it's powered by that token. Now the concept seems crazy, but it's going to become more and more, fantastically amazing and more set in stone. Okay. So these are the kind of things that you can have going along. Mojikun would. Now, some Tekken fans, yeah, the wooden guy, yeah, he would be good too. I remember that guy. Oh man, that's funny. So, final thing, guys, when it comes to Decentraland, let's look at the marketplace. So, the marketplace is, you can click on the marketplace from here. Now, I think my wallet is connected to this, so I'm going to load it up. Now, my bandwidth is a little bit slow, guys, so I might slow down and be in a bit of a slow motion run. But I'm just going to open up Decentraland's marketplace for you to see. Now, they are still auctioning off land, and the price is getting higher and higher, but I do want to own a piece of land on Decentraland for sure. The one I really wanted, it was gone by the time I went there. Now, I'm not a gamer like that, but I did want to own some. So As I said, guys, let's see what's going on here. All right. So right now, on the people are already selling off, okay, their land the on this blockchain. Now, some of them are going for massive prices at the moment because, and this is why mana tokens are so valuable, because right now the prices are becoming very much more expensive. So let's see what's happening here. All right. So this is it right now. So if I wanted to get involved in this community right now, all right, I can actually get myself involved with my wallet. I can connect my wallet to here because I have an ERC20 standard wallet. As long as I have mana tokens, I can interact and start to buy things. So here we see we have a plot of land. Now, if you want to see all the land places or what's going on, you can do so. So if I can you can start browsing the virtual world. So if I click here, all right. So here's all of the assets. So you can see somebody's made some shoes. This is by Atari, I believe. All right, so this is classed as an epic rarity. Now, for those of you who are gamers, we have legendary, epic, rare, common, things like that. All right. So you can see we have land on sale. And even if whatever I do, my profits from what I do, one day I want to own a piece of this land. So if I click on the land here, so you have parcels and then you have estates. Okay. So with the estates, it tells you, you have different places you can go. Let me go to parcels. And if I go here, all right, so you can see if I zoom out, I'm going to do this for you all. All right, did I zoom out further enough, far enough? All right, so if you scroll along, you can see a whole network. So you can see here. So if I go right here, do you see this? So when you hover over a piece of land, all right. So this is called the Genesis Plaza, and the Cartesian address. Sorry, I think I went too far. Is 6766. So I think this whole square belongs to them. And you can see the owner is simply just uh, a wallet ID. So 0x, so that's Ethereum. ERC20, of course, 4EAC. I think that's just the wallet number. So you can see the owner, what they own. You can see everything about them apart from who they are, which is fantastic for anonymity when you want to be anonymous. Okay. So there are still some pieces of land available. Now I wish I could pull up my own account for some reason. I don't know if I can sign in straight from here. Let me see if I can sign in. Okay, I have to connect my MetaMask. Okay, but okay. Wait, let me see if I can. I think I pressed the wrong button. But this is Decentraland, guys, and this is what you do. So if I connect my MetaMask now, for the sake of time, I'll continue with this next lesson. All right. I'm considering whether I should do two of these podcasts a week. If you guys want that, let me know. Okay, I might start doing that. Okay, because there's just so much to share. But we have so many things here. So this marketplace, you can buy a whole load of things, and yeah, it's fantastic. Now, one great thing about NFTs as I move on to the next one. All right, so I'm going to close this up now. One of the great things about NFTs, I'm going to come back to. I'm using CoinGecko now. Is that as usually as a creative, you usually get done a bad deal when it comes to your content. You're the content creator, especially for stuff like musicians, artists. In before the crypto space, started to take in or be able to, help and provide a service for these creatives. Beforehand, it was very difficult for some artists to be able to get access to all of the money that belongs to them because intermediaries. I think one thing that crypto is definitely going to abolish is unnecessary intermediaries. Okay, they were necessary for a time, but that industry, I believe, is going to completely get wiped away. Okay, because they've taken advantage so much, and now it's time for people to be free, and the business of the middleman has to change to something else. So I guess in the next 5 years to 10 years, we're really going to see this. All right. So now I'm going to talk about another NFT here. Now, CoinGecko is my second choice, not my third, but my first. Only reason why I don't use CoinGecko as much as CoinMarketCap, not because they aren't great, but it's just that they have less coins. They have 6,500 coins and they have a lot less exchanges listed. I think crypto, um, for crypto, is still fantastic for DeFi and everything. But I think my first choice, I would say for me personally, is the other one. All right, so let's have a look at this. So we have Decentraland here, and the second one is Sand. Okay, now Sand is another one that's fantastic, and we have Rarible too. Now, if you don't know about Rarible, again, I said please watch that video because Rarible, every time I talk about it, just gives me shivers. I just want to become a digital artist and just make something. Okay, but back again to what I was saying, I haven't forgotten. When it comes to NFTs, okay, click on Sand. All right, this will be my second one. I'll share some more as we go along. We're going to look at the price action here. I'll do some analysis of where we can get some probable buy points for Sand and for Decentraland, and then we'll come back. So for me, NFTs allow for you to have this thing called secondary selling. So if you had, for example, Beeple right now, you know, using blockchain, whatever price he sold an NFT for to somebody, he's still, according to the blockchain, the owner. And you can have secondary, earnings or selling, which means if somebody takes your NFT that you've created and sells it on to somebody else for more money, then you would earn a 10% or 20% cut, depending on what is agreed on. Okay. So this is what we see when it comes to, this space of NFTs. It allows for people, no matter what the middleman says, no matter what happens, for the people who are creatives to actually get what is due to them, which I think is a fantastic use case. Now, for music, okay, there's things like Audius, which is one I'll shout out to check out. All right. And over the period of time, we're going to see more and more of these things pop up to allow for this middleman scenario to go away, because now you can do peer-to-peer transactions. You have the place where code is law, and if A happens, then B happens. If A doesn't happen, then B doesn't happen, and etc. So we don't need middlemen anymore. Okay, and profit can be given. Now, in the music industry, I'm a musician myself. I sing, I play piano, and I play guitar. Now, apart from doing gigs on the side, which I've done many, and you get paid in cash or to your account, um, when it comes to gigs that involve music and it's going to be out there in the world, the amount of time it takes for money to get it takes a long time for the royalties to come in, and then after the royalties come into you, it takes a very long time for the royalties for your if you're signed by anyone, okay, for you to get that money from the place of being signed to your account. I believe that the journey is roughly about 6 months, and I have friends who are musicians, so they talk about these kind of things. It takes a long time for the money. So if you made a song, let's say today, you wouldn't expect to get paid from that song or start to get paid from that song until the 18th of September, roughly, which is very, very long. Okay, very, very, very long, which is unfair, because they process it in some way over from, SoundCloud or not, maybe not SoundCloud, but like iTunes or Spotify to the label. And then the label, for whatever reason, takes a long time before they pay you too. Now, I saw one project where somebody used a cryptocurrency to be able to do their transactions, and the musician received their payment of 100K in 30 minutes instead of 6 months. Now, with those kind of figures, I think it's a no-brainer to know what we have to do next. Okay, cut down the time by more than 10,000x. All right, I think that the crypto project deserves 10,000x on its coin. So here is Sand. Okay, so the all-time low now. The reason why I'm bringing this one up is because the all-time low was not too far away, and I actually looked at Sand when it was here, but I thought my mind wasn't really geared in that way. I had my eyes on other cryptos. Now the all-time low was only in September, so 4th of September, Sand was 0.0289. So just call it 3 cents, okay, a coin. And now it's come up to 77. So we have at least from the all-time high. Right now the price is at 61 cents. So we have about, according to this, a 20.3x returns. So if you put £100 in, you would have had 22,030 pounds. Now the all-time high, this is compared, I think, to the current high, and I think the main, if I do 28, if you do the quick calculation, so 0.77 divided by 2, 0.0289. Now, the reason why I like Sand is because when I look at it, is a good picture to me of how fast things can change in crypto when a new industry booms. Last time we had DeFi. Now, for those of you being around during 2020 and you heard of Yearn Finance, Yearn Finance went from $6, I think in near the beginning of the year, I think in March, and by summer it was $30,000 a coin. So that's like a 5,000 times your money or something like that. So you can see these massive growths of DeFi are absolutely outstanding. Yeah, YFI, check it out. It was $6 when it first started. Now, why I like YFI, it was the way that the coin came out. You couldn't buy it. I think now you can buy the coin, but before it was released by Fair Launch by a guy from South Africa. So in order for you to own any of those coins, you had to interact with the DeFi protocol, and then you earn coins as a result of interaction, which is something fantastic. And I'll talk more about it. But yeah, so we have the same thing happening in 2021, and we're right at the cusp of it. We're not right now. The price has kind of relaxed down, but I think in the next 3 months we're going to see a new wave of absolutely crazy exes if we can get this right. And I don't mean exes as in ex-girlfriends and boyfriends. I mean exes as in time, the potential growth. Okay, all right. So when we look at the price action here, I'm going to go for the, I mean, even in the last 24 hours, but in the last 7 days, we've had some massive extremes all the way to the all-time high, and the price has already dropped down by, or 2 days after, to, if you can see here, roughly around about 25% down or 33% down from the all-time high. And then we've seen the price kind of spike up, and it kind of stabilize around 61%. Now, to finish off this discussion that we're having, let's have a look at the website and let's see. Okay. So you can click on the website from here. All right. Now, there are some metrics you want to look at when looking at a company. Now, I'm signed up with Sandbox as well. I tried to buy land there too. Didn't work out, but I'm still going to go for it again. Okay. But you know what? Thinking about Sandbox from where it was in just in November 2020, which is not too far away, guys. It was, less than just about 4 months. You know, don't show me this. Okay, do show me this again. As I said, guys, get yourselves into the system, get yourself, involved. Now, I think because there's been such an uptick in the price and a lot of engagement with the Sandbox, you have to pre-register. Okay, but I'm already registered, so I'm going to sign in, connect to my MetaMask. All right, but this MetaMask I'm using here is just on my teaching laptop, so there's no worries here too. Let me just sign in quickly. All right, wait for it to load. So this is why I like to interact with these things, because you know what, before we've had the internet, of course, and now this is where we get from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. Okay, get started. All right, so I think it's asking me again for it, even though I have a MetaMask wallet. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, MetaMask isn't registered here. Oh, okay. So I think my MetaMask isn't registered here. It's okay. On my other laptop it is, but I'm already registered with uh, Sand. All right. I'll log in afterwards, but I wanted to create some land. So if you want to interact with this um, community, you do need to have your wallet on. But if you want to click on about, they've made it very simple. It kind of looks like an app to me. It is kind of like an app, but you can see here you have the same kind of concept. So you have the Vox editor. So this is where you can create your NFTs. Okay. And then you have the marketplace where you can sell. Now, this marketplace is really where the supply and demand, this NFT kind of marketplace is really where the price is positive on it. Now, Sandbox has some fantastic news that's come out. All right, and you can see that the ERC 115 standard is out now, and you can use this to. So you have the mixture of ERC 20 and ERC 721. Okay, so the token, minting the token. In other words, you can mint the token, okay, to the NFT, and the NFT can become a real life asset. That's what basically ERC 1155 means. Okay. So here's all the partners that it has. Atari, you can see, is a big name. All right, we have Wax as well, okay, which is an important project. All right, we have quite a few projects here, and here's the roadmap. Now, I want to show you the roadmap. Now, the team is not so important for now. Team is a part of the metrics of looking at crypto, but I just want to talk about the roadmap here. All right, so it used to be called Pixel Owl, okay, and then the Sandbox franchise came out on iOS. So for Sandbox isn't necessarily a new thing. It's just that they went crypto. Okay. Now, one of the biggest things here now, there is news that you can check out. If you want to find out news, you can just search it up here. Um, we'll show you. But this is the important thing here. So the partnerships in 2021 is what I'm going for. So what their plan is right now on the roadmap in 2021 is that they're looking to have new IPs and premium NFTs. Okay, the game maker. Now, the official release of their game maker, I believe, is out actually right now, and you can actually do so. And the public sale. Now, the public sale, I get regular emails from them, and they've already carried out about three. I think there was a major one, 19th of February, or something like that, and they have another one again. And I'm gonna see if what we can do with this, and see if we can have some sort of regular announcement feed or something. All right. Now with Sand, the reason why I'm price positive on this 100% is because they've actually launched the foundation DAO and the Sand staking. This is the key. So they've actually done this now. They have their DAO, and you can see for you to sign in, you can sign in with your MetaMask wallet. Okay, so that there's some decentralization there, and also they have Sand staking. Now, because of this staking is for me is one of the biggest recipes for price positivity. Whenever you stake coins, the supply is reduced. Okay, and when the supply is reduced and the demand increases, the price goes positive. And this is what we've seen right here. I think probably Sand, out of all of the gaming kind of NFT kind of cryptos I'm looking at, probably has had the biggest gain from I mean, in the shorter space of time, in 4 months, it's gone from 28, 2.8 cents all the way to 77 cents, which is one of the largest percentage gains I've seen so far. So the public sale, yeah, this is the one I was wondering. We're gonna have the featuring the six premium EFTs now, NFT, excuse me. Coin Market Cap, they're very smart. I think if any of you have looked at Coin Market Cap or Coin Gecko, one thing I'm gonna throw a tip out to you guys is that if we're still in the stage now, it's not as it was before, but right now, I would say you can still earn a lot of free cryptos. There's many cryptos, like I was speaking to a friend of mine who's like, he helps like repair Macs for my missus and stuff. And he started with $700 in crypto, and now he's at 30,000. Now, some of that crypto he earned was for free. Like a lot of these crypto projects, when they're in their down stages, this is why, opposed to what many people say, still look around for those crypto projects. Of course, don't just dive in there because they're 0.0001p, but look around for them when they're on the low. The key for making money with crypto right now, apart from all of the other aspects, we have to look at the project and the longevity, is their use case and things like that. But also, you want to look for, solid, no matter what, look for solid growth, and also you want to look at their price points. Okay. Now, at the time, my friend was telling me that he will had Nano. If any of you, I think Nano was called, I forgot what Nano was called before Nano, but Nano, he could earn it basically for free by just watching some adverts on the video. Not like how you do if you want to earn more lives on a free game. He was just watching Nano, and he earned a whole bunch of them. And now they're around about £3.88. So about, see what the price of Nano is right now. If I go to market, so I type it in. Oh, it was Redcoin. Yeah, Redcoin. It used to be called Redcoin. So if you go Nano right now, it's actually, I think, in the top 100. Okay. Now, Nano has a lot of, potential, and I'll be talking about it a lot more. But right now, the all-time high for Nano, okay, already we had a crazy gain here. It went from 26 cents to $33. All right. Now, I'm not really doing any analysis on Nano right now, but I'm just giving you the concept here that look around, guys. Right now, if I can tell you, there's a few that are out right now. There's three places to go to, and I'm gonna try and see if I can link it in the description. Around January, it was about 90 cents. Yeah, literally around 90 cents in January. And now, at the moment, it's $5.12. But he got it whilst it was round. I don't know when he got them, but he said they were about 5 cents. I don't think he got it for, I don't know when he got it, but he did get it at a very cheap price. Now, the all time high for Nano is $33.69. Now, if this project is keeping in line with what needs to be done, now sometimes projects price, these, you know, price growth we see, especially 2008. Okay, that was the formal period, so the price was really pushed up to a high barrier. But once the project comes to maturity. Now think about this. Cardano, okay, another one. I'm gonna shout them out. Cardano went from 1 cent, I believe, or 3 cents or something like that, to $1.33 from December till January. So December 2017 to January 2018, it went from 1 cent to, I think, it had 133% gain, if I can remember, 120%, somewhere between that. Now, you have to remember at the time with Cardano, what was the situation with Cardano? Cardano didn't even have a ready project, or they didn't even have anything on the ground. It was just a concept. But people bought into the project so much and what they're working on that they invested money into it. And it did a massive amount of gain. Right now, Cardano is a lot from where it was back then to now. It's gone a lot further. We actually have staking that can happen. There's a whole load of things. And so once, what I'm saying is that once these projects get their boots on the ground, even at the prices that they are now, expect them to at least break past their all-time high. And once they get past there, the sky is the limit. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. We still have an opportunity that I don't want you guys to miss out on. So on that note, okay, before I say the last thing I was going to say, because I haven't forgotten, I'm going to quickly just go to TradingView, and let's just I'll do the one breakdown. I'll look at Decentraland. Maybe if we have time, we can do Mana as well. So let's TradingView. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. Everybody good so far? Everybody good? Any questions at all? Brilliant. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So let's go through Mana and see what we have going forward. Fantastic. Thank you, my bro. All right. So I'm going to go for Mana, and let's go for Mana USD. Now, when I'm picking here, this is important. If you do use TradingView, I would say try to use a crypto broker that's been around for a while, okay, because you get the longest price feed. So you have a bigger picture of what's going on and a reputable one. So, I mean, Coinbase is good, but they only put Decentraland on recently. So I don't think they'll have much of a price feed. So for me, it's either going to be Decentraland USD Tether, or I'll use Kraken. Now, Kraken's been, I think, it was open 2013. So I think I'll rather use it during these time periods. So I'm going to use Binance versus USDT because it's this very similar to the US dollar, or Bitstamp here. Bitstamp is fantastic. That's a good one. So Decentraland Bitstamp, I think I missed that one. I didn't say that, but yeah. Decentraland Bitstamp is another fantastic one you can use. Let me load this up. Now, from what I can see with the Kraken versus Binance, all right, that's a good question. I would say Binance. I would say Binance. Yeah, they have the long. I mean, they have the longest price history, but I think Binance themselves, um, because they've become so large, I think they're in a stage where, okay, it's controversial, but I think they're in a stage where they can actually, they don't have to, you know, algorithmically, not that they don't have algorithm, but they don't have to do things to the price to kind of keep their books running. I think they have so much resource, so many things they've done. They've got this Binance Smart Chain, all of these different things they have. I think they're quite stable, so they don't. I don't think their price feed will really be affected. I think because they have so much money coming in, they have great price feeds, great systems. So when I think of it as a trader in my mind, Binance has a lot more going for it than. Not that Kraken isn't fantastic, but I think Binance, if I think of it from a logical point of view, yeah, they're the best in my opinion too. I agree. Not that Kraken isn't good, but yeah. If I was to pick one for price feed, I'll go for Binance. I think it's the most accurate. Now, if you want to test this out, how I go for it is that you see, if you look on CoinGecko, or if you look for popular coins, what I would say to do as a test. Now, excuse me, guys, again, my bandwidth is a little bit low. Okay, but let's put this here. I'm gonna put this line here. Now, one of the other things that I just noticed now is that with the Decentraland token as well, I might have to change from Mana USDT to something else, because USDT, some of the pair correlations or the pairing happened more recently. So USDT is a bit more newer. So I think I need to use USD in this case to actually get a good price. So if I use the same thing calculated by this set, by TradingView, I can get this, or I can use Kraken. Is Bitstamp there? Okay, I can't see Bitstamp right now, but all right. We could use either or. I'll use Kraken. Let's see. Kraken should have a good price feed. Does it have it? All right, no. Let me go to the other form. See if we can get. Yeah, there we go. All right. So yeah, as Marlon rightly said, Binance has the longest price history. So now we have it. This is the best one. So I'm using the US dollar calculated by view. So close this off here. All right. So because we're in price discovery mode, I just want to give you some tips again, as I said, to help you. For those of you who are traders and technical analysts, okay, if you're investors, then your mode will be a bit different as to what you're going for. But if you look at Decentraland here, at its peak, it actually got up to 36 cents. Now, if you look at the reaction here in February, I'm gonna have to go on the weekly to show you this. All right. Now, even though it's a wick of a candle, I mean, if I went to the daily time frame, then it would be a body. See if I can fit the daily into here. Okay, can I? I mean, I think it's too far back, but it's okay. Let's just go back to the weekly anyway. So if you go from the weekly period, we can see this normal. Now, this is a normal thing that's going to continue to happen, for all crypto projects that actually have some value and are going to continue above their all-time high. if if you see a crypto that I mean, there are some cryptos that are never going to survive past this spike right here, and all the money that you could have ever made on that coin was in 2018. But the ones who have solid projects. So for me, when I look at this period here, I don't see this as a bad period. I see this as a great period. Now it depends on how you swing it. If you're coming to the crypto industry just for money, I believe you're going to get hurt, because if you're just looking for percentage gains, it takes a lot more than just looking at a coin that has, I don't know, a bullish pennant or some sort of technical pattern to be able to ascertain to whether the price is going to do well or not. Okay, those right now, as I said again, in the stage that we are with cryptocurrency, because it's still relatively new, the volume is 45 times less than, the biggest market right now, which is currency, which I believe that cryptocurrency is going to face fiat currency head on because of the intrinsic nature of some currencies. Things like Elrond, eGold, Bitcoin, things with that kind of feature, that really puts fiat money to shame, as it is right now. It is shameful, but that's for previous lessons. All right, so when we look at this price over here, as soon as the price breaks above its all-time high, you see this massive sell-off. Now, this massive sell-off is the same thing every time. Many investors and people who got in early and who bought at the all-time high or very close by, who were holding and waiting for, hopefully, you know, that the price will break above. You see, they only got 1 cent above the all-time high, and there was this massive sell-off for the next couple of weeks, and the price pushed down here to about 18 cents. So just about literally halfway. So it dropped about 50%. So this 50% drop that you see is a very common thing you're going to see in the price action, and this is all traders, just people who are bought out, especially there's two sides to it. People who bought at a low, all right, usually the signal to sell for many, especially in this period right now in 2021, is if a crypto goes past this all-time high. So if you look at Cardano, and I'll probably pull up the chart next lesson, you'll see that Cardano right now is having a struggle. It keeps breaking above its all-time high and then dropping beneath and breaking above. It's in this kind of phase right now. All right. And whenever this happens, okay, traders who were holding on, which may not be few, some of them probably gave up when the price got here. Because if you can imagine, if you bought up here and the price has gone down here, you've lost, you know, massive percentages on your money, probably about 90% down. Okay. But if you'd held on for a bit longer, imagine closing right, I don't know, imagine closing right here in December saying, you know what, the year is out, I'm tired, 2020 has been bad, I'm out. And then you come back and it's just done this, it's just like, oh man, you know. So this period for me is the growth period. This is the real growth period. So any crypto that has this kind of period here, this kind of rounded bottom, okay, this rounding of the bottom where the price is slowly gradually making its way up. Now you can see here it has 20, February 2020 had a nice spike here. Then we had another one August, and I remember this one. Okay, the price has these little gains here and there. You can really see the projects grow from these price action points here. Now here's just the the initiation or the startup. So whenever you see this, guys, and you're analyzing technical analysts, please observe this. Right now, whenever you see this point, we have a mixture of investors who bought at a high and also people who bought at the low who signal to close out. Now you have to remember, some people do trade. A lot of people actually do trade crypto right now. It's the same way you trade currencies. They have stop losses and they have take profits. Now, if many people have take profits set here, then automatically many people are going to be coming out, or the volume is going to drop here, or the volume is going to increase for a sell or closing from here, and the price is going to drop. Hence why the price is about 50% down, which is a refill for the long. And you can see week one, 24 cents, and then the rest is history. Now, my tip to you guys, and I'll make sure I do as many technical breakdowns as I do. I might do a whole session on a technical breakdown, who knows? Okay. But my aim is to go more for the fundamentals than technicals, when I discuss with you, because I want to give you applicable things you can do now. So if we look at this all-time high right here, whenever the price makes an all-time high, one of the things you want to do is leave a marker for that all-time high, because we are in price discovery mode. Every time the price makes a new high after the high is just made, we have, price discovery mode. And so these points right here are going to be areas that we might want to look at for possible reaction and things like that. So if I'm looking on the daily here, all right, now what I would do is try to look at things intraday and take it day by day. Now, if I go to what we have right now, the price seems to be seems to be struggling within a range here. Now, I'm not a support and resistance trader, so when I trade, I like to look at algorithmic levels coupled with highs and lows, because there is an aspect to this market where the price, would be following, algorithmically put buy and sells. When I was reading a book in 2019 and also in 2018, there was a book which talked about, algorithmic technology within the crypto space, because I'm very big on coding. And roughly right now, 80% of the crypto market, and they were projecting about 85 to 90 of the cryptocurrency market, is all algorithmic. Okay, so the buys and sells are automated, to keep the order book and the order flow balanced. Okay, every exchange has to do that at the moment in order to keep things going. With decentralized exchanges, they have smart contracts, so in a sense, they have ways to do so to keep the liquidity pool solid. Like for example, DXDY is a good decentralized one. No KYC required. You can just connect your wallet and start trading, which is, man, it's fantastic. All right, but if I just look at what we have from the price action here, looking at the market structure, if I was to use a trend line just for visual help, so if I just go from the last points of where the price has taken off, the price is kind of broken out of this intraday trend line for the moment, and we can see that we have huge spike in, so a lot of retail volume going on, and I believe a lot of selling. And I do expect this pattern to continue. Now that the price has kind of swung this way, I'm looking at an A swing, B swing, and a C. So I do expect the price to go short. Now, for supply and demand, or areas that I'll be looking at, so you could put price ranges. Now, I'm going to give you some keys here. I think I'll stick to talking about mana, and then we'll call it a day. So if I put this here, would you still use the same fib levels? Yeah, they still apply because they're algorithmic, so they will still work the same way. So you can still throw them in there. So I might put some Fibonacci retracing on here, but if I'm going for price points right now, what I'm going to be doing is just marking off the significant areas where activity should happen. So if I get my trend line here and put this over here on the line, so I think this was a bit misshot. So can I move it down a bit more? Probably not. So we just make another line here. So I'm going to put this horizontal line, and this horizontal line is the all-time high. I put this in red, and I'm going to make this thicker. All right, here we go. So this is the all-time high 121 according to Binance, 1.21761. So about 1.121, sorry, $1.21. And then we have this low right now, which is 77. So with this bearish pattern, I'm expecting the price to continue and get to the next level of demand. So the next part of the order book which had, enough liquidity to drive the price here is around the 70 cent mark. So if I'm going to give you entries, guys, for those of you investing, as I always say, when you're investing, you're trading in slow motion. So technical still applies. So don't get away from it. I have many investors that say, I just want to buy. Okay, well, you buy at the all-time high, then no problem. I'll buy 90% lower. Okay. If you want to be a good investor, you need to have some technical analysis. Okay, it's important. So my first area that I'm looking at, if I'm looking at this bearish structure, if I was looking for a buy, I would say, um, let's put this here. Uh, I would say if I was to use just a round figure, my first buy to get back into mana, I would wait for the price to get to 70 cents. Okay, so this is going to be entry number one. Now, right now, some of you may be feeling like you've completely missed out because the price has done a lot, but a very simple tool that you use, and it's something that I'm coming to love more and more, and helps me to get away from the FOMO. Okay, because I said in order for this to work, you need to get rid of the FOMO. Is dollar cost averaging. So dollar cost averaging allows you to think more long term in terms of what your profit goals are than short term. Okay, so you're going to use technical analysis very simply to map out different price entries of where you're going to buy and add to your portfolio, and you want to get a dollar cost average of the price points you have in mind. But you can't get those price points unless you use technicals. You can't just stand up and say, yeah, I'm going to buy everything when it gets down to 50 cents, but the price may not get there. So you do need to have this. All right, so this is the first area around the 70 cent mark or 69 cents mark. Second area I'm looking around is I'm going to put this here. It's going to be around this area, okay, where the price had a supply zone that was a flip, okay. So we had enough liquidity to push the price further past, if you want to class it as resistance to any more buying. Once the price broke above this, then we had a continuation. So if I was to look at a second entry, I'm just going to draw some very simple lines. Then what I would say is right here, my next buying point would be around here. So 54, so 55 cents. So entry number two. Now, my suggestion is, guys, to always have three entries, okay? Now, in this case, I think I'm going to do a higher up entry. So this is going to be number three, if this was my lowest point, just to make it easier for time's sake. And number two. So this is a simple example. And then number one, my next target, let's say if this bearish structure fails, then I'm going to go for the next area, maybe the demand zone here, which is probably the least likely. Now, when you're doing this, okay, I'm going to do dollar cost averaging calculations as though we're going to put, a third of each, or a third. Let's say if we're going to put £1,000 in, we'll put in a third, to the best divisible that we can, or the best division we can, about a third equally across all of these different price points. Okay, so let me just change this. So let's just say this was entry one. Now, this is not my entry. This is just hypothetical, the cheapest, the most expensive entry, 83. And you know what? I'll put the fourth one here. So let me change this now to 55. And then we have this one down here, I guess, which is right down here. So I have this other entry here, which is my next one, which is 44. All right. So number 4, 44. And, in other videos I've said this, but I have my level, which I call the I wish level, okay, which can happen, which is around 36 cents. So basically where the price kind of, before it took off, or coming back to the price point that it took off from. All right. Now, in a bull market, that's highly unlikely, but if it happens, that's why it's called a level of I wish. Okay. So if we look at these three entries, if we do some dollar cost averaging, okay, across, let's say, entry 2, 3, and 4, okay, what you would do here simply to do this calculation for those of you who don't know. So dollar cost averaging. All right. So dollar cost averaging, if we were to do some dollar cost averaging, then what we would do is 55 cents plus, now 83 plus, sorry. So let's go back in order. And 70. So if I divide by 3, okay, this means, or what we're doing here is we're calculating as though we're going to put our equity into all three equally, all right, which will equal to 0.44 plus 0.55 plus 0.70. So when we look at that, all right, dollar cost averaging on Mana, we have, let's see. So this is my Money Max calculator again, all right. So having a look across that, so we're looking about 56 cents, all right. So if we dollar cost average that, we're looking at about 56 cents here. As a question, will you keep? Well, we are in a bull market right now, so like, how would we find an entry? Okay, so if we're going back into currencies, I'll flip back on that and I'll send out analysis. So in a bull market, okay. Now, if we talk about the bull market from that aspect, how would you find? Would you, as a question, will you? We are in a bull market right now, so like pound Japanese yen keeps going up. How would you find an entry? Okay, good point. All right. Oh, in mana. Okay, so when it comes to mana, for example, so we know that cryptocurrencies, after all the things that I've said today, is really driven by fundamentals, but we would use technicals for confirmation. We're still in the price discovery mode, but to under in this bull market, I mean, yes, we've had the bearish time, but also there's an important factor here. So when we in the previous podcast that we've done, I've talked a lot about the infrastructure of the dollar and where we are right now. We're in a situation where fiscal policy and central bank policy have come together, and one of the biggest things that have happened during this coronavirus period, to answer your question, is that we've had an influx of money, or we've had a lot of injection of money this time in this financial crash into the public. So we've had a lot of inflation take place because of that, because we have a lot of what, stimulus, Americans, as you guys are calling it, the stimmy. All right, but we've had a lot of money go in there. Now, 2008, when there was a financial bailout from the government, and we had that same fiscal policy and central bank policy merging together, and we had that perfect pattern that we look for these kind of bull markets and stuff like that. The only people that were bailed out were the institutions. The people were left to suffer. So there was a lot of, there was quantitative easing to a degree, but it didn't actually affect the price of currency so much. Now, what we have right now, because there's such a large printing of money taking place in this situation that we have to power the bull market, we have a lot of people that have a lot of cash and nowhere to go. So they're pumping money into this market. So because of that reason and prices inflating, yes, you're right that we have to, we could potentially wake up tomorrow and mana could be at $10. Okay. But what I would say to that is, to find an entry, okay, you're gonna have to use this. The best way to do it is to use the dollar cost averaging method and use your technical analysis, look into the left as far as you can. Because we're in price discovery mode, the only thing we really have to go by is what the price did in the past in terms of what we have going along here and the all-time high and any intraday highs and lows, or H4 or the H4 highs and lows that we have. So what I would say is to, for me personally, what I do is to create a strategy, and I'll be going through this in the next course, a strategy of how you can manage your portfolio in a way that you don't miss out on, you may not get the, let's say, the best entry for everything, which is this dollar cost averaging, but overall, you still manage to get what you want, in the time you want it. Now, you have to, as I said, the Forex market, currency market is 40 times, 45 times more liquid than this market. So when we looked at, going back to pound Japanese yen, even for example, the fundamentals that are pushing the price there, okay, and the kind of money that's in that market compared to this market is not as much. So it's safe to say, and I would say this to you, that we have the opportunity to be able to still be able to capitalize on certain, on these movements that have, go well, the movements that are going on. And because this market is so small, the market order book has to be balanced in such a way where there is room for buying. Now, I haven't brought up the market depth today, but in the next session, I'm going to put a section and I'm going to go through I wouldn't use the decentralized exchange. I'll just use something like Binance, and we're going to read the order book and the order book depth so that we can see how buying and selling goes on, so that we can have an opportunity to get in there. But from my perspective, looking at this technically, we have some room to make our way down. Okay, just using this simple trend line, we have the structure broken. Okay, there is selling going on. Right now, from a fundamental perspective, everything's gone quiet again. Everybody's calmed down from the NFT hype. Okay, and so we should see some more selling from, especially from weaker traders that are just in for the money and not really looking at the long term goal. All right, so whenever this happens, if the price starts to seem to want to bubble up and go forward, what I would say is to enter your equity. And then if you're in it for the long run, sometimes the price doesn't completely matter. Like, if I always say it to people in this way, if you got into Apple, at $2 instead of $1, would it really matter how much X you really have? Because at least you got in at a very cheap price. So it's the same thing with Decentraland and what we looked at with the sandbox. I hope that helps. Okay. So this is what I would suggest to you guys. Now, what I'll do, okay, this I decided to make this one a longer one. What I'll quickly do, let's pull up the sandbox, okay. All right, and I'm going to be putting out, so my newsletter will be out, guys. We have two to do, so you guys will see the newsletter soon. And I'll be putting out some more top crypto picks. I said on my channel, Money Mikes, I have some more things to share. And on this channel, we'll be posting, I believe that we might end up doing this twice a week because the demand has become higher for it. All right. But let's just quickly look at the sandbox and go for this. All right. So make sure you share with your friends and family. As I said, this is for me to give to me and all of the guys in the Wealth Group Academy. We want to share. So please share with as many people as you can. Let them come along and learn. Because in this industry, there's a lot of noise. And I'm a person that I don't like when people talk, but they don't know what they're talking about. And they mislead, a massive amount of people now. I think I'll make sure I post that out. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I just started one up by popular demand. It's called Money Mikes. Okay. I've done a video called The Essentials or the Ultimate Guide to NFTs. And there I break down everything to do with NFTs for now. And I will make it into chapters. And I also will be probably making my own NFT, as I said. So look out for that. All right. You can check me out, Money Mikes. All right. I made a new Insta again. So it's the real Money Mikes. You can check that out. Let me put this up here. All right. So don't know what's happened with Sand. It's disappeared. Money Mikes. All right. Money and then space Mikes. Okay, no worries. All right. So don't know what's happened here with Sand. Let's put this up. All right, let me just click on crypto. Thank God for this sign. All right, here we go. All right, so Sand USD. Now again, I think Sand is the best picture for us to see this massive movement from 2 cents or 28 cents all the way up to where we are going forward. So if I click on here, let's go to the weekly. We'll end it off here. So again, we're in price discovery mode. Now the cryptos that are not there yet but have potential to, this is the ones that we'll be posting out every single week. All right, every single week. All right. So so we only have up to 2020. So I'm just going to use that. I believe that Sand has, we can go further back in time, but seems to not be available here. Um, if anything, we'll see if we can get it further back, but it's cool. All right. So as I said, we had this all-time low here, and now we pushed the price up. So if I go to the left, I'm going to put the high up here. And what could we do for Sand? So if I gave you some tips now that you can go away. Now, for legal reasons, this doesn't constitute to financial advice, but please seek an advisor, financial advisor, before you make any final decisions. This is for educational purposes only. Okay, so nobody message me and say you told me to buy and it's the all-time high, because I didn't. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you. All right. So, all right. Now there is another aspect to crypto that we'll be talking about in more detail. You told me to buy. All right. What did you say? You guys are funny. All right. So if we, I mean, you can still do the same thing here. I'm using the H4. I think there's enough room here to look at the price. If I use a trend line just to help us graphically, all right, I would say this, you know what, I always have to tell the truth. As when you're trading, you know, trend lines are graphical in nature. But one thing I would say is that, again, because we're such a small volume, 45 times less than the currency's market, all right, trend lines, you can use it to actually monitor retail behavior at a deeper level. So you can actually see what people are, you have selected. All right, guys, no problem. But with retail traders, we have this. It's easy for you to monitor what retail traders are doing. Sadly, we can't bring up the market depth here, but I will, as I said, I will do it in next Alexis, and I'll put a bit of a, and I'll try to timestamp this video so that you know where everything is. But definitely, I will do in that video as well, open up the market order book depth, and we can look at order book depth and how to read the market order book, because that's really what controls the price. All right, and talk about the activity of whales and how they dump, money into the market and then rebuy and etc. Now, again, we can see clear again, the price has broken out of this, bullish structure. So if all of the retail traders are looking at the same thing, that they should be looking in the same way if they do any price charting, then everybody's going to have the signal to sell right now. And so the right, even though there's technical saying here that is a strong buy, I guess, based on, the price jumping from where it did, of course, this thing is going to be broken right to the right, all the way to the right. But from what we see here, the bearish structure is broken too. So same thing, but I would say that I wouldn't expect Sand to pull back as much as we may see with Mana. Okay. And I think that the price is quite tight here with the structure. There's a lot of volume generation around here. So if I'm going to look at the significant levels, let's look at all of the intraday all-time highs that were put along. So if you want to analyze this, here's some tips that you can use. When you're looking for entries from a technical standpoint, try to look at the previous all-time highs that were created intraday. Those are the easiest ways that you can actually um, go along with things. So if you use intraday, try to find those kind of spikes, where the price had that massive jump in the price and then a pullback. Because if you notice, every time the price has a jump and a pullback, the price seems to sit there. Now, this isn't resistance level. This is in this side of the market, this is more trader psychology and how traders are thinking, which is good enough for you to use in the stage that we are. As this market matures, that concept wouldn't work as well, but we can use it now. So currently, if I look at these areas here, our rebuy points would be beneath the lows of where we are. So if I chart this out for you guys, I'm going to go on the H4. All right. So first area of, if I was to look for a place to go for buys, all right, let's do some dollar cost averaging here. So the entry that we could go for now. So there's one here. Okay. So basically an entry around 58 cents now. We have the second roundabout here. Draw this line. And then pull this back down here. And then the final one that we'll have, and I have to go back to get this for you guys. D1. Now I'm just going to quickly check something. I'm going to pull up my phone and or I can pull it up from here. All I want to check on the other laptop, okay, is we're just going to look at what the, if I can pull up Sand. So whilst I'm doing that, I'll explain to you what I'm trying to do. So looking across here, we have 45 cents, 58 cents, and then we have the all-time high at 80. Okay. So let's grab this. Okay. So I would say one entry we have, I'm not going to put the numbers on them. I'm just going to put the entry. All right. We have just beneath, I'm going to say $43, 43 cents, sorry, entry here. The next entry we have is 58. All right, which is kind of right around about just a bit lower than where the price is now. Now, I keep drumming it into you, but I really want to be able to, if I'm going to be sharing in public, as I am, excuse me, I want to make sure that you know, that I don't want you to get into the FOMO of crypto. As great as crypto is, you don't want to get caught on the wrong side of the market. Now, what I'm going to quickly check here. Okay. Okay. So the last one we had was 11 cents. So I am right. Here it is. 11 cents. All right. So let's put this here for you to see. All right. So the last two entries we have going along. Okay, that's it. I've got it now. To finish this all off. I don't know what I've just done. Oh, I think I selected too many things. So the next entry here, all right, the which this is the level that I keep telling you about, which is the I wish level, is 16 cents. Okay. And that's the least likely to happen. And then the last one here to end this off, it's gonna be right here at 35 cents. So 35. All right. So if we do a dollar cost average minus this one, where we're looking at for mana, excuse me, for sand. So sand, and again, on the other video on my YouTube channel, I talked about how to adjust this for what portfolio or what you're trying to do. But if we're just talking about we're putting an equal amount in each, then here we go. Now, thank you guys to all the diehards. You guys have been with me on this live for a very long time. It's been a long session today, and I think it's a good one to start off with because we have so many things to cover. All right, but we have to run off. So let's just do this calculation and end it off here. So these are my targets that I'm looking at for sand personally. And if you want to follow along, you can. But I'm not advising or definitely saying to go in there. So divided by 3. So if we divide it by 3, we're looking around about a dollar cost average of about 56 cents. Okay. Now you can reduce your dollar cost average by how you manage your portfolio or where you put your entries. Okay. But there is a risk to that you might miss out on everything if you try to go down that road. So you have to time it properly and know what you're doing. So this is what I'm looking at. So roughly around about 56 cents on average for, having one coin right now would be fine when it comes to sand. All right. Now I'm going to have to end it here because we've been on for a while, but I hope you guys enjoyed, okay, the session, and I'll catch up with you guys later on. So take care.